Woody Nerdigans, this is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's hashtag book Nerdigan discussion is A Radiant Sky by Jocelyn Davies, which is the third and final book in the A Beautiful Dark series. If you have not read A Beautiful Dark, A Fractured Light, or A Radiant Sky, or have watched any of my hashtag book Nerdigan discussion videos on it, you're going to not know what the commie narcissist I'm talking about. So seriously, go read the books, watch the videos, and then come back here so we can talk about it. And yes, this book is part of my hashtag AngelReadAthon. This is the cover, and you have Sky in the wedding / prom dress because yes, bitches, we're going to prom. I love it. And I love the pose that she's in too, and I love the writing style. The covers are so consistent. I love it, love it, love it. But anyway, let's get to it. This is a little bit different. I love the writing in this book. I love the writing in the prologue. The prologue is beautiful. So the first bit of the prologue is obviously from the campfire story. And then it goes, but what no one ever tells you is that to break your own heart, that feels even worse. And then it continues, I always believed that love could only shatter you, i.e. when Jordan cheated on Sky, and make you believe the impossible until the impossible is all that you know, Asher. And when basically Asher, when the impossible is real, when you've forgotten who you are, forgotten everything that makes you, you. Only when the world is different, and you are different, and things are shining the way you never knew they could, that's when love rips you open inside out. I always thought I could live without it. Love, Asher had once said, the great destroyer of worlds, but I was wrong. And I love that. That was a beautiful prologue. That was a beautiful prologue, and it gives you everything you need to know up until this point in the story. I love it. Jocelyn, thank you for doing that. I gotta say, love the prologue. Okay. And then, so basically this takes place a few months after the events of A Fractured Light when Sky made the decision to go rogue. And I love how Devin burned Artist. It was great. It was fantastic. She's not, you know, she's doing what's right. Doesn't the rebellion believe in that? Even if they disagree with her cause? It was like, ooh! And then Artist, like, snapped back. Ooh, oh, look who feels right at home speaking up. A rebel for a whole minute and you've already found some rules to follow. You could take the Guardian out of the order, I suppose. You can't take the Guardian out of the order. Or, no, you could take the Guardian out of the order, I suppose. I'm sorry, I'm butchering this. What I don't understand is why they have to be enemies. Don't they have similar beliefs? Seriously, they don't. I don't understand. They hate the order. Why do the rebels and the rogue have to be enemies? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Like, I know the rogue, like, please explain it to me. I want to know why. Artist, dumbass. And then we get the silver bells. The silver for my eyes, for the strange mix of power and surge within me, stronger by the day, for the flashing wings that had finally grown in fits of stabbing pain from beneath my shoulder blades. But last night I figured it out, as sharp and clear as the rattle's bell. When all the silver forces in my life converge, we'll know it's time to fight. I love this writing. You have to admit this writing is really good. No, Sky, you and Asher are not against each other. No. And I'm with Asher on this one, and I love what Asher says. He says, Sky, listen to me. When this is all over, when we found a way to end this, we will be together. And then I love that Sky's like, prove it. And then he kisses her, and it's like, oh! And then he pulled me into his arms so fast I didn't see it coming. And I threw my arms around his neck and kissed him. He held on to me tightly as the sun dipped quietly below the mountains and the darkness rose up to meet us. And the wind blew through the open window, gusting up under my wings, which had unfurled in Asher's arms, and lifting us both off the ground. It was a kiss you read about in books, the kind they write songs about, a kiss that told the story of us, the whole messy, complicated story. This is the writing I like in my kissing scenes. That is beautiful writing. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Book Nerdigans, female book Nerdigans especially, don't tell me you don't love that writing. Please, I would love to know if you don't love how that scene is written. It's beautiful. And Susan E., You want to know how I like my love scenes? That's another example. And I love what Asher says. He's like, I will. And if you think that I'm giving up on that, you're crazy. And then Sky says, that's no goodbye. Asher says, nope, it's a promise. And I'm like, okay, Asher, I'm done. You can take me. Sky, I would just be like, Asher, just fucking take me, please. And I love that Cassie and Dan and Ian are sticking by Sky. Well, we all knew Ian was going to stick by Sky. And I love that Cassie and Dan are too. And weird silver wings and all. And I love Raven's honesty. You have to admit, like, because they're all around the dinner table. And they have their honesty. And by the way, the kiss was on Aunt Jo's roof. And they're having dinner around the table. And I love what they're saying. And this is what, because everyone's joking about this and taking it lightly. And Raven says this. She says, they're going to use force if necessary, capture you, control you, or kill you, whichever serves to benefit them the most. They have a lot to gain from using you, but if they can't, you're safer dead where they know you can't harm them than alive. And then this is Aunt Jo, what really happened. Sky's mom still found herself having visions even after she was cast to Earth. In these sudden bursts of sight, she was able to pick out faces and later names. It turned out she was seeing rogues who are children of rebels and humans who showed extraordinary angelic powers and gifts. The thing about rogues is that they usually don't know what they are or what they're capable of. Remember, that's what Asher said. Only that they're a little bit different, that they don't quite belong, and that sometimes strange things happen when they're around. With these specific rogues, the ones she was seeing together, that they all knew, and they were all dealing with it, some in good ways, some in bad. And Aunt Jo reveals the identity of the rogues. She saw 3 rogues. One was a man named Aaron Ward. The second one was a man named James Harrison, not the football player, and the third was me. And this is Aunt Jo. I wish I was a rogue. Shit. And Aunt Jo on the ritual. So in the visions, your mom saw the 3 of us enraged in some power. Sorry, I think it's enraged in some powerful ritual that we could use to call all the powerful rogues to our side. We would be able to call them to their true angelic selves, and like us, they would finally know who and what they were. The idea was that within strength in numbers, we could overtake the Order and the Rebellion and create a third group that would forever keep the peace, hold the 2 sides at bay, and keep them from ever gaining power over the other. The irony, of course, is that controlling you, Sky, would give one side ultimate power for all time. After you were born, we worked harder than ever to make our power strong enough to create a third group. And it didn't work because right before Mer, Sky's mom, died, she saw a vision of a 4th rogue. The identity still remains a mystery because Mer died right before the identity could be revealed. And after Mer died, there was no point in continuing because in order to find the fourth, they needed the visions. Aaron wanted to continue, and James became a father and had a wife who didn't know his true lineage, which was driving their marriage apart, and one day disappeared. Plus, Jo was taking care of Sky and hiding her lineage, and Aaron ultimately packed and left. And Aaron was Jo's boyfriend, and she loved him, and they were going to get married. That was what the wedding dress was for, was because Jo and Aaron were going to get married. And she wants to continue, Sky obviously wants to continue where her parents left off. So Sky made herself have a vision to find Aaron Ward's location. And no, Pookie Bear threatening to put skirts on a teddy bear didn't work. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read Penguin in the End of Days series. And it turns out James Harrison is Ian's dad. Ian is a rogue, and I fucking called it, bitches. I called it before I even read this book. This is like my second read through of this book, I want to say. Yeah, this is my second read through, I believe. Yeah, this is my second read through. Yeah, I called it. I was like, Ian's got to be a rogue. And damn, I'll take Devin. Dude, Devin has become uber sexy as a rebel. Don't tell me he hasn't. And this has totally happened to me. Like, this happened to me with my ex, my first ex. please, tell me if this has happened to you. There's some law of nature that says when you don't want to see someone, you suddenly see them everywhere. And after that moment in the hall, everywhere I went, I saw Devin. That's happened to me before. So the Guardians are stalking the rogues, even Aunt Jo, and Aunt Jo seems excited that Aaron is coming back. She's like all excited. I think Aunt Jo just wants to get light. And wow, it's personal with Ardith, and she was never friends with Sky. What makes you think that she won't stop you destroying the Order? Dumbass. Like, seriously, Ardith is a dumb ass. What makes you think Sky is on the side with the Order? Shit. And then, I love that Sky and Raven fly to Aaron Ward's place. Flying, the best way to travel. And I wish I had my wings. Still waiting. Still waiting. Damn you, wings. One more. I love this. I just remember in the first book, one morning, months ago, in the darkest dead of winter, I woke up floating, and now I knew why. My body had been preparing itself for this. So, oh, that's my phone. I don't know who that is, so I'm sorry. My body had been preparing itself for this. Wow, the rebellion really doesn't want them to make it to Aaron's place, and they're unleashing lightning. It's either the rebellion's unleashing lightning, or Zeus is just unleashing his wrath. I'm going with the combination of both. Maybe just leaning towards the rebels. Sky absorbed the storm, and the look on Raven's face was so priceless when Sky absorbed the storm. It was great. And then I get to Aaron, and we see Aaron's daughter, whose name is Earth, and she knows all about the angels. I love Earth. Earth is like the coolest character ever, and I talked to Jocelyn about it. We're gonna get a spin-off. We are getting a spin-off series for Earth, and I will give you my wish list at the end of this book Nerdigan discussion. So, and Aaron also, I love that Aaron also calls her trouble, and I love her expression, and I'm starting to use it more. Eating your shoe. And Sky says Raven knows all about eating your shoe. That shit was funny. And the Order has been watching Aaron and Earth every damn day. They go to Earth school every damn day. I love that Earth repeats what Aaron says. It's funny. And Aaron kind of glares at him too. It's kind of funny. And Milo, the attack dog, is anything but intimidating to Raven. And Earth, I love what Earth says. And sometimes if you sit in the kitchen at night with the lights off, you can see their wings moving outside the window like pale butterflies. And Earth had to go to bed, obviously, and Earth gave Sky a hug, but Raven was denied a hug, and Raven was like, "Hey, where's mine?" So Sky's mom, basically what happened was Sky's mom used mental manipulation on her, so she would forget everything. So Sky doesn't remember any of the memories that she had with her parents, so that's why she doesn't remember Aaron or any of the rogues. So Jo is short for Josephine, and yes, she is somewhat of a bitch, but she has her reasons. It's the rogue, hashtag that rogue blood in her. But for once, we don't have an evil bitch named Josephine. Yes, score! Finally. And so what happened was the Guardians killed Aaron's wife, because obviously Aaron was married. Earth found her in the car with the windows up. Those bastards made it look like she did it to herself, but I knew it was them. The kids learned to grow up. The kids learn to grow around pain, push it down. But she's a special one, strange but special. And right then, I was like, okay, Jocelyn, right there, you just confirmed it. Spin off. And as they left Aaron's place, Sky had a vision of a place on fire, and guess where it was? It was Into the Woods, aka Aunt Jo's store. And I really now I have Into the Woods, the musical stuck in my head. Into the Woods, Oh man, if you haven't watched that movie or seen that musical or listened to the music, it's good. So basically, so I love that Sky was able, so to get there, Sky used mental manipulation on a police officer, which was pretty cool. And then Sky saves Aunt Jo, who came to get the papers and couldn't get out, and hashtag fire armor. Ooh, left the fire armor there. And Sky heals Jo, too. And I thought it was sweet that Raven is worried. It's like, yay, Raven is getting a soft spot. And then they get back, and Earth and Aaron arrived at Joe's place. And we got in the car as soon as we left. Well, no shit, it's safer there than in Rocky Pines. And oh, I love Earth on Aunt Jo. It was funny. It was so funny. Boy, was he nervous to see you. What? She doesn't look so scary in person. Oops, did I eat my show? I love Earth. She is awesome. She's so cute. The police officers, it actually turns out the police officers were rebels, and the fire on Into the Woods was the rebellion's move. And the Order and Rebellion aren't fighting against each other. They're going after Sky's friends and family because that's what makes her stronger. And I love, like, when Sky's walking around and everyone's asleep and Raven's having her anger dreams. I can just imagine them being like a puppy thrashing, you know, like when a dog is running. And then Sky has a run-in with Devin at the spot. And Devin says, maybe I needed to hurt you like that in order to realize how bad it was, how much I needed to be free. I'm saying I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do any of it, and that's why I jumped. I was choosing freedom. I can finally feel. I can feel everything for the first time. I hate myself for everything that I've done, and I'm going to do everything I can, everything that's in my power to help you. And, you know, if you think about it, remember, if you've read the Embrace series, it kind of reminds me of Onyx. If you've read the Embrace series, please, except that Devin's not gay. Please put in the comment section if you think that Devin's character development is similar to Onyx. I really would like to know if I'm not the only one that's going crazy here. And what Lucas is saying is the Guardian now runs. So Devin gives some insight on Lucas. He's the Guardian now running the show since he was ranked below Raven and Devin, and he's ruthless and dangerous. And wow, Devin is putting his money where his mouth is, that's for sure. Oh my god, Earth is really, okay, so now we get back to inside and a little later, and wow, Earth is special here. I love what Earth says. But TV, what's your brain? Can I go outside, go play outside, Dad, please? And then Aunt Jo's like, okay, seriously, what parenting manual did you use, and can I have it? And it turns out the sweater that that Sky found in the cabin in the previous book was Aaron's and not her father's, which kind of sucks. And then Sky finds a letter from her mom. And there will be a time, and this was in a box, a special box for her. There will be a time when you will come looking for answers. Even though I am no longer with you, I promise you, my little silver clover, that I will tell you everything you need to know. So it's time to mobilize the troops and officially become the uprising. And Astaroth is such an asshole. I hate Astaroth. He tries to mentally manipulate Sky by controlling her emotions. Like there was no hope for our mission. I blocked him out, but by the time I succeeded, I almost fell off the roof. It was scary. It definitely felt like an attack. Good thing for wings. Hashtag the orders for a strike. And ouch, Ian got shut down for prom. That really sucked. This was later in the day. And damn, seriously, Earth is motherfucking smart. So Sky's talking to Earth, and she's asking for some advice. And Earth says this about love. Love is like riding a bike. You never forget how to do it. And Earth has a special power to mediate and has the special power to make people feel better. Seriously, Jocelyn, we need a series. Give us the spin-off series. I don't know if she's working on it yet, but Jocelyn, if you're watching this, please be working on it. And Sky, I love that Sky is getting schooled by the 7-year-old Earth. You have to take a lot of risk. You have to trust yourself. And Earth can create messages with the stars. And the first helps Sky. The second saved him. She was reading these messages from the sky. I like that. That's really cool. And Sky has a vision of Dan and Cassie drowning, and the elemental forces out to get the people Sky loved. And Sky and Earth will work together. And Sky had a vision of all the rogues. And Astaroth is implanting dreams and visions. And of course, the theme for prom. End of the world! Hashtag awkward turtle. And I love Raven's response. And it's like, looks like I'm not the only one who eats their shit. But it's disaster movie. And don't say there won't be a prom ever. Don't say it. Don't say there won't be a prom. And so I thought this was so cool how Myrrh was able to cast a spell on this box that that Sky just has to use her power and ask a question, and it will show a memory. It was badass. So, verse 1 that shows up. Myrrh explains to Sam in a memory how she can answer Sky's questions. If they are dead mental energy. It changes a little bit of their mental makeup and yours forever. It creates a bond, a connection between the two minds. The more intense and prolonged the influence, the stronger the bond. It's not intentional, just natural. Accidental, sort of side effect of mental influence. An accidental rift in the fabric of an angel's mind that lets the human see a little bit into their thoughts and feelings. If the influence is only for a short period of time, you might be able to make out snippets and inklings. If it's longer, a portal is created. You just look into their eyes. The eyes are the portal to the soul. And then what Sam says, you've been doing this her whole childhood? And then Myrrh says, I've been preparing. We're going to die, Sam. I've seen it. I know it's a sacrifice, but this will be worth it in the long run. When Sky finds herself caught in the middle of the two sides without us to guide her, and she needs our help. The box is where her mother's thoughts are hidden, and it is sealed by both Myrrh's and Sam's power, and only Sky can open it because Sky is the only one that has the power of light and dark. And so, silly Astaroth, seriously. You will never learn that love makes us stronger. When will these villains fucking learn that love makes us stronger? Sorry, I'm getting thirsty. I've been making, this is like my third video today. Yeah. Going into Astaroth's mind, I loved it because of that answer. And you'll see this again, actually, in the Angel Burn trilogy by L.A. Weatherly. This does happen again. That you're able to create portals with the mental shit. So she was able to go into Astaroth's mind and hear his thoughts. The battle will not end until one side has claimed her or one side has killed her. It's the day of reckoning, the end of days, or the beginning. The battle over Sky, which of course is on prom night. And going into Devon's memory to the night of the, oh, that was so crazy. Sky goes into Devon's memory to the night that they first met on Sky's birthday, and it's like, oh, poor Devon. Like, Devon, I just feel bad for Devon. It just reminds me of the Phoenix chapter in the Embrace series. If you've read the Embrace series, please. I would love to know if you feel that way as well. And the moment after Sky found out who she was and was crying in Devon's arms, and yep, the portal worked, and now you know how it feels. And Devon, I will take Devon, sure. I like that sweet. He is so sexy. Like Connie and Arceus. And I'm liking Sky's philosophy. My life philosophy was something on the lines, when life starts feeling out of control, put on a pair of motorcycle boots and kick it in the shins. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes all it did was make Aunt Jo give me the raised eyebrow like she was giving me now. I love it. And damn, Earth is one smart kid. She called bringing an umbrella and the mental connection with Gideon confirmed. And confirmed it. They are going after Cassie and Dan in the Foster Woods. And I swear, Sky parted the fucking river. Sky is the female Moses, and she freed the Jews. Or, well, she freed Dan and Cassie, not the Jews. And Sky heals Cassie this time. She couldn't heal her the last time. She healed her this time. And I thought it was sweet what Dan wanted to do. He wanted to practice the last dance from Dirty Dancing with Cassie in the water, so that way if he dropped her, he wouldn't hurt her. And no, Cassie, the rebel, did it this time. It wasn't Raven, but I don't blame you for blaming Raven. And I think, I swear, Dan reminds me of my first boyfriend because we were BFFs and he hated when I went out with other guys before. Oh, he hated when I went out with other guys after him, too. He was a jealous bastard. And Raven doesn't do hugs. No. In the box, an answer becomes clear. James was jealous that Sam and Mur got to spend more time with Sky and he couldn't with Ian. And Mur also said Ian and Sky will find each other. I've seen it. She could see the future. And Ian ditches his finals to find his dad since he knows where he is. Well, and this is what he said. Well, I decided to come clean and just tell my mom everything. Not about the Rogue Angel stuff, but about how important it is for me to find him. It turns out she knew where he was this whole time, but she didn't want to tell me. She wanted to protect me, too. She said my dad didn't leave us like she always told me he did. I guess the truth is that she kicked him out. Well, apparently she thought he had an affair and kicked him out. Of course, James just left, and James changed his name to Benjamin Sharp. And then she says, my mom kept the truth from me because she wanted me to be mad at him, not her, for making him. Because he's the one who left, and she's the one who stayed. She knew it was selfish, but she did it anyway to protect me. You guys know, a lot of you guys know that I do some work for Tommy Sotomayor, so I have to say it. This is a Tommy moment. A Tommy moment confirmed. And for Ian, he hated his dad, and this is why I'm saying this is a Tommy moment confirmed, because Ian hated his dad for no reason, and he doesn't know anything about him. And Ian is 17 years old, so and I think his dad left when he was like 4 or 5-ish, maybe 6. So it's like, he lost a good chunk of time with his dad. So, just saying. And then Sky has a vision in the middle of finals that Lucas is going to hit Ian's car in an accident. So I guess she has to leave fucking finals to go save his ass. And she actually saved Ian just in the nick of time. And now, time to find James via Air Sky. So yeah, she can hold Ian and fly at the same time. That's confirmed. And oh my God, the father-son reunion, oh my God, it was so sweet. And yes, James is on board and staying at Hotel Joe. Like as soon as he saw James, or as soon as James saw Ian, it was a beautiful moment. It really was. And rogues can only control small parts of the elements. So now back at Hotel Joe. And Aunt Jo's power is able to manipulate the earth in small ways, which apparently was the reason she had started running excursions out of into the woods. And Aaron's powers had some power over the wind and the sky. And James' powers is handy with water. And the fourth is sky. So yes, we still need an Earth series because we just do. I want to see what Earth can do. Damn it! And we have an Onyx moment here. Don't let this go to your head, Sky, but saving your life may have been the best thing I've ever done. Raven had an Onyx moment. Yes, she did. And apparently during the Raven and Sky skirmish, it wasn't just a vision, Sky. And this was, we're talking about, I think this was in A Beautiful Dark. Yeah, this was in A Beautiful Dark. It wasn't just a vision, Sky. You went somewhere. You disappeared. You weren't on the ground of the parking lot anymore. That's why I freaked out and told Astaroth. That was the moment we knew you were even more of a threat than we thought you were. If you could transport yourself to places you envisioned, what is to stop you from getting into the Order's realm? And basically, what will happen is Sky's going to envision the beach and transport herself there. Okay, I gotta say this is instant transmission, basically, but without an energy source. She's basically can envision it. She doesn't have to try and find energy. She just has to picture it. That isn't fair. I want to be able to have that power. Earth will tell them, and Earth will tell them when it's time, because the Sky will tell her, and then Sky will take the rogues with her to form the circle. I like how the Sky communicates with Earth, and then Earth tells Sky. I like that shit. And then the morning of prom, she's surprised by Devin, and Devin reveals that he pulled a phoenix and he took away Sky's pain and made it his own. And it's like, oh, Devin! Oh, Devin! And Devin is leaving the rebellion to join the uprising, and he confesses that he loves Raven. Oh! I love what he said. We were forced together by fate, but somewhere along the way, I fell for you, Raven. I want to be able to choose you. I know sometimes it's cheesy, but it's so sweet. And I'm a Sky. Love doesn't have to destroy worlds. It can bring them together. And Earth and Joe are right. Go get Asher. Just go get Asher. And Devin's going to help them. And this is how to find the rebels. The way to find a rebel is to follow your heart. Yes, literally. Rebels are guided by emotion. So the way into the rebel realm is different for each person. You are tied to it by what's meaningful for you. And what's meaningful to you is Asher. You have to follow a treasure map of all the places that mean something to you. The places that made you special because you were there together and for no other reason. You have to retrace the story of you and Asher from beginning to end. Well, it's the rebellion. They're a faction that was founded on the guiding principle that you should let emotion guide your decisions. And Devin takes Sky's hand and flashes through their story. And I love that we have this. I love how Jocelyn did this, because you have to find Asher. She has to look into her heart. Sky has to look into her heart to find and go through the story of how they fell in love with each other, to find him. And I love it. I love that shit. So you have the flashes of front step of the school. Then the flash, and then the Asher showing Sky his flames, and the flash, and the cuddling on the roof, and the flash, the cabin after Sky was hurt, and then flash, and we get to the waterfall that Asher made for Sky, and it worked, and that's where he was at. And I was like, the waterfall! It's that waterfall, damn it! And apparently, the rebellion realm is a desert. So, welcome to the rebellion, a pocket in time and space that's folded in on itself. Ever-changing, ever-evolving pure chaos. Impossible to describe or pin down on a map. So, apparently the rebels in the realm are colors and shapes of light, which was really weird. I was just like, well, they are supposed to be chaos, so makes sense. I'm kind of curious what the Guardians look like in their realm. And that's where you're going to do your Earth series. You're going to have Earth going to the Order. I gave you a plot, Jocelyn. So, they found Asher at the waterfall, and Asher on where he's been. I love it. And well, they fell in the waterfall, and they had a moment. And then Asher on where he's been. I went back to the rebellion out of duty and loyalty, and this is hard to admit, okay? Once I was there, you were all I could think about. I had to find a way to keep you safe to end this. I realized something. Ardith and Gideon, they're only loyal to the rebellion because they're loyal to each other. They're fighting for revenge out of love, not ideology. I don't have anything like that tying me to the rebels, not since you left. And, oh my Kamianashi, Asher, I love what he says. I love this writing! I'm saying that in a shocking turn of events, I've been rebelling against the rebellion. I've been trying to bridge communications with the Guardians to make peace to help you, but neither side would listen. They only ramped up their plans to attack. So I had to work in more covert ways. The fire, the flood, all I could do was show up and try to keep the damage from growing. However I could with my powers. I kept Aunt Jo from getting engulfed in flames during that fire. I gave you the extra boost of elemental power you needed to part the waters of the river and save Cassie. I had to do it in secret, in the shadows. If the rebellion found out I was helping you, they'd kill me. Seriously, suck it, Azeroth! Power of love kicks ass. And I love with Sky on why she left the first time. I got scared. I was afraid that if I let myself fall for you, I wouldn't be able to stop. And Asher said I wouldn't let you fall alone. It's like, okay, Asher, you can have, I will surrender to Asher now. I totally would. And then Sky asked Asher to prom, and then Asher's like, that's tonight? I think I have to, plans, but let me see if I can move some things around. And then taking Sky home as she passed out, she heard Asher say, this time I can really save your life because you saved mine. Oh my god! We had a Lincoln moment! And wait a minute. Is Cassie still in the room while Asher and Sky are fucking? Because I'm curious. Because when they get back at Aunt Jo's, I swear to Kami and Arceus that Cassie was supposed to be sharing the room with Sky. So, Jocelyn, if you're watching this, will you please tell me if Cassie was in that room or not? I hope, for the love of Kami, I hope she wasn't. So, I see what Jocelyn did here, because I knew he was the one. For the first time in my entire life, as we lay beside each other under the darkening, radiant sky, I didn't have time to think about it. I just knew. I love this writing! And Cassie got a stretch limo, and Earth is wearing a tutu, and Asher, come on, you should be wearing a tux. Asher's not even wearing a tux. Like, at my junior prom, my ex didn't wear a tux, okay? But my senior prom, and his senior prom, he was wearing a tux. Fuck that shit. I love when Asher's dancing, Guy's dancing with Asher and then dancing with Devin. Hashtag creating memories. And LOL at Dan and Ian playing with the Legos hanging out the Titanic. I love what Cassie said. You know, people have broken up over less. This is why we're not allowed to go on missions, Daniel. Where's the other thing? Oh, Earth says the shooting star has Sky's name on it, and it's time to go to the Cradle of Time. So Asher, Devin, Ian, Raven, and the 3 rows are ready to go. So the Cradle of Time is gray and dreary. You wouldn't think the Cradle of Time would be gray and dreary at all. So it's gray ocean, black sand, gray clouds, and of course Astaroth is already there, as well as 100 gifted ones, and they were easy to spot, older, grayer, with aged yellowing wings. And the Cradle of Time, this is what it is. Time is born here and dies here. It passes and returns like the tide of ocean lapping at the sand beneath our feet. This place is where the sight begins and ends. It's where all destiny originates. And Raven adds in as well. We're in the before place. Astaroth told me about this. It existed long before there was even an order or a rebellion to break away from it. It's where the first angel was born with the sight. It's the place where destiny begins. And so the rebellion and order are going to fight over Sky, since Sky won't choose. And Astaroth's father's vision, chaos, cities burning, flooding, death, the order unable to control it, to stop it, because the order could not have seen it coming, for they had lost the ability to see along the lines of fate. They had lost the sight. It was the end of days. And Artis said, but another angel had the same vision. He didn't see destruction. He saw renewal. He saw a beginning of days, the dawn of a new era. The 2 angels argued. One was convinced. Sorry. One was convinced if we lived according to free will. I don't know why I didn't. Let me just take care of this real quick. There we go. While the other was bound to his belief in fate and was convinced the day would be the destruction of the world. So one angel left the order, and he was the first rebel. And when Sky comes into play, this is what Astaroth says, because it was your powers who brought this day to come. The daughter of dark and light caused the end of beginning or the beginning of days, but nobody knew what would happen. It's why we prevented you from ever being born, and it's why we watched you so carefully when you wouldn't die. An artist claims they wanted her to side with the rebels to prevent the order from destroying her. And the rogues answered the summoning and are ready to fight. When the rogues came, it was amazing. And I think it scared the order shitless. They did not expect it. And then Sky, she's in her dress, she has her wings, and then she plucks the sword out of her wing and forms an angel sword. And seriously, go Devin, you tell Gideon you fight for people that you care about, motherfucker. And then Artist, that bitch killed Devin. That bitch killed Devin. And then Carmen is a bitch because Sky's sword killed Artist. So fuck you, Artist. You deserve that shit. And Devin, I was so sad when Devin died. And his final words to Raven, we would have been happy. And I was like, tears, no. And their bodies appeared into the mist. And Earth's message, save him, came into play in the weirdest way. So Sky saved Astaroth, and now he owes her. So now the uprising of rogues will keep the order and rebels in check. And Sky ousted Astaroth from his position of power. I'm establishing a new council to govern the celestial laws and honestly. Gideon, Raven, Ian, the three of you all have a mixture of powers. Your allegiance was never to a side, but to your heart. I trust the three of you to keep peace and balance in the world. Do you accept? And they all do, of course. And Ian would be the council's liaison on the Earth. And the thing is because Astaroth was boosted out of power and he was pissed the fuck off. That's your villain right there, Jocelyn. That's your villain. And I would love to see Sky train Earth, or Sky and Asher work with Earth. Because Earth is gonna Earth has more of a because she's a rogue, she has elemental powers, and I kind of would like to see Ian's powers as well, because remember Ian is part rogue too, and we don't know what Ian's powers are. We didn't get to really see Ian's powers, so please, Jocelyn, I gave you that, and Ian's gonna be the council's liaison on Earth. And with this, the sun flowed through the beach, and Asher and Sky have their wings chopped off. See? Scott Spear? See? See? Sorry. And back at the prom, and even Ian came back too. And Ian's spending time with his dad. He wants to finish school, and he'll still do shit for the council and stuff like that. And he wants to spend time with and he wants to get to know his dad. And well, you know what we'll probably what I would like to kind of see in the Earth spinoff is to see maybe his dad kind of develop Ian's powers a little bit. That would be pretty sweet. And Sky and Aaron help with Earth. That'd be badass. Because and we have Aunt Jo and Aaron get married. We have to have that, Jocelyn. And now we can get back to how it ends. And it ends with Asher and Sky dancing, and I love the quote. We would make mistakes, we would argue, we would make up, we would lose the people we would love and find new ones, and hold our memories close. We would fight for each other again and again. We would keep living, we were in love, and we were only human after all. I loved it. I love how it ends. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, and the way it ends totally leaves it open for a spinoff. So, Book Nerdigans, my question for you is, what do you want in an Earth spinoff? And also, I want to know, obviously, did you guys love how it ended? Did you love the fight that happened? Did you love you love Asher? I love Asher. And what did you think about Devin dying? It was so sad. I was like, no, not Devin. But Ardith died too. But seriously, guys, Nerdigans, I want to know what you Nerdigans think about Earth spinoff. I want to know what your wish list is. I gave you guys Nerdigans an idea of what mine would be. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember to donate to my Patreon, and so I could keep filming and getting more books for the hashtag Nerdigan channel as well. And but remember to follow me on Twitter, and I will be seeing you in the next series, which will be the Angel Fire series by Courtney Malton. Bye!